Want to help the channel? Go to teespring.com/shopq2cast, where you can get the new Patriot merch and the classic Madman and American Asylum shirts and mugs. Use the promo code MADMAN at checkout for an additional 10% off your purchase. That's teespring.com/shopq2cast.
One of those days, huh?
Hey, welcome back. Zane here. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. It's been a long weekend. San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone, sort of. And there's a lot to discuss on this. But before we start, don't forget, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thanks to those who are on our other social media platforms that have shared our videos to everyone out there. And thanks to the new subscribers out there. Hopefully that you'll share these videos as well. So we had San Diego Comic-Con, and we had it this year at home. That's right, San Diego Comic-Con at home. If you were under a rock, didn't see this at all, basically there was a scheduling, it was a lot, and basically we're going to talk a little bit about what went on. If I miss anything, it's okay. You know, there was so much to ingest, but it was so little to ingest as well. And what I mean by that, one major takeaway from this is that normally when you go to Comic-Con, there's major announcements, a lot of major announcements. And I think without Marvel and DC being there, there was a lot of takeaway from that. As you know, Marvel, DC, Crunchyroll, Adult Swim, they're all having their own cons. In fact, Adult Swim had theirs over the weekend, which there was not too much on it. It was a lot of fun on there. Crunchyroll is going to have theirs as well. DC and Marvel, I think toward when this goes up, it'll be toward next month, August. On there, we'll be seeing that. Like I said, there was not too much major. I mean, there was a couple things here and there, and we'll go through it on there that I looked at. But one of the things about it, and I noticed, and this is why the comic book industry is pretty much almost in the dirt as far as that. It's almost basically buried. Is when you watch most of these panels, and if you look at some of the titles of the panels and stuff like that, and I hate using the term because it just basically it's this small little group that just basically wants to inflict things that, you know, the masses don't want. You know, the wokemanship, the political messages, you know, BLM and all that. I just don't. You know, it's not. This is not a place. This is not a platform to talk about this. And a lot of these people work in the industry, and they say, well, we don't have a platform. Yes, you do. If you work in the industry, you have other platforms, other viabilities. You can go to the news media, you can hold a news conference, you can create your own network or anything like that. But yet they just try to cram themselves into places where really they're not wanted. They're just really not wanted. Because what we're in for is we want to be entertained. We want to be taken away from all the issues. They just don't want, they just want to throw those issues that are just going on. We just want to get away from those issues. Just totally get away from them. It's like the sports. This is why I'm not into sports anymore like I used to be. The only thing I watch out sports, the closest thing, is wiffle ball. If you haven't seen wiffle ball on YouTube, catch it. It is really good. It's really, really good. I think it's an 18 league and stuff like that. They have a World Series. They have a home run derby. And it's really fun. It's a couple of teenagers that do it, I think, out of Texas or somewhere down south. And it's a lot of fun. But see, the thing about it is, when I come to go watch a horror film, a science fiction film, I pick up a comic, I want to read just those stories. I want stories that just take me elsewhere from the issues that are going on outside. But you have these situations. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. A movie coming out, series coming out. Marvel looks like they've taken the name off for some weird reason, which is appearing on Hulu. They spent at least 5 to 10 minutes just talking about politics, about minorities and all that. Listen, I'm a minority myself. I come to, if this was in San Diego at the convention center, I would have walked out on this. And you know something? I turned this off. I really did. I got in when they started talking. It's like each person started talking about this whole thing, about the issues that are going on. And I was like, no, I've come to look at the programming that you've created. And, I want to see how it is. I want to see how it's been put up on the screen, how it translates from comic book to the screen, and not to hear political rhetoric. If I want that, I'll turn on the news, spewing all day long. And this goes on and on and on. And you see many panels. They talk about how the LGBTQ in horror films. I'm not against any of that. It's just that I don't want to hear it when I'm venue. It's not a place to talk about these things. If you want to talk about it off to the side and want to have a discussion, yeah, fine. We'll have that discussion on the side. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to see new programming, what you're going to offer me, what's coming soon, who's in it, what to expect. Am I going to enjoy it? It is just insane how they've treated this. And it's just literally, that was a lot of the panels. Not every panel. I mean, there was some, and I have to say, there were some good panels. There were some good panels on there. Now, the other part of it, and this is where it went crazy, is that the Star Trek panel, which was, I think, one of the craziest panels. I couldn't get through the whole thing in one sitting and all. But it really confirmed to you that the producers just really don't care about Star Trek. I mean, all you got to see is Lower Deck, the Lower Deck series. All you got to see is, what they've done with Picard, what they've done with Discovery. They just literally, Kirkman has just really turned this into a dumpster fire. This is why the fans have run away from this series. This is why the money people, the people who create the action figures, the clothing, all the merchandising on it have stepped away from this because they know it's not selling. Do you know the current doctor right now, Jodie Whittaker, her stuff is not selling. It's basically in clearance racks, or it's being returned back to the manufacturers. I mean, stuff that is like 70, 80%, off of its listed. The action figures, this is the first action figure is not selling out, or the statuettes or anything like that. First one that is not sold out. I mean, the prior Doctor, they didn't do well wise, but it was still selling out on a lot of his statuettes. This is like the first one that just really hasn't done well. And when you go back to the panel and stuff like that, it's just literally crazy. And the worst, and the crazy part about this, and I'll tell you, is that a lot of the YouTubers try to use little segments and clips and like that. And of course, CBS, in their crazy mind, tried to strike each one of them down. And as they were doing it, they struck down their own panel. The video that they put up, they struck it down themselves, not realizing it belonged to them. This is how insane these people are. Okay? This is the small little fringe. This is a fringe minority group. A lot of them on Twitter. That's why I don't use Twitter too much. People say, like, because I'm on Minds and I'm Gab, I'm on Parler. I get good conversations out of there. I got a lot more viewers out of it, because they want to see things other than what, the insanity that's going on out there. They want to see what is truly going on, with their shows and all that. I mean, we're seeing so many shows get burnt down to the ground. Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, on and on and on, all the comic book. And basically, that's the other thing, is that there was no major talk of comic creating it, getting into it, and a lot of those were woke as well. It's just, I keep hating saying it, but it's true. It's so true. It's gotten to a point. It's just become so insane about the whole situation. And the other thing is from the other value. A lot of these panels, if you didn't realize, were taped much earlier. Some dating back months. I mean, all the way back to the beginning of the year. I mean, on some of them. Some of them, others were done more recently. Within the last couple of weeks or a couple of days prior to it. I mean, I didn't really see, maybe I missed it. I didn't see anything really live other than Adult Swim side on their convention. They did some live. But one major thing is, this is a lot of people that are in the industry. I saw a lot of audio issues. I saw a lot of technical issues, video issues. I understand. If you want to use the cheapest thing possible on there, I've seen YouTubers with cheap equipment and put out a really good 1080p video. Good audio, good video. I mean, there's not too much to it. There are guys who are making movies off cellular camera with cell phone cameras that are, up in really great quality with zero budget. I mean, there were some panels that, oh yeah, the video was good, and you could tell who had it. Like, I mean, give you a perfect example, the Archer panel. Aisha Tyler, she had a good video, and two other people had good videos. Everybody else was like, it was like all muddied up and everything like that. Yeah, I can understand some things, on there if you're using your laptop or on something like that, but you could have done better. And if you had time to do it, time to edit in stuff, you could have improved the video quality. I mean, a lot of this, and I feel a lot of this was rushed. And I understand, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You could have delayed it for another month or two and got something better out of this as far as quality. I mean, there were some good panels. I mean, one thing I was looking forward to, New Mutants. We got to see a 2-minute opening. And we got a release date of August 28, which we hope. On there, if you saw that little piece where they're like scratching out in there, and you'll see that on there. It's amazing that we got to see some of it, at least 2 minutes. We got to see that 2-minute opening with Demon Bear. It looks good. I'm interested. I want this to come out. I really, really want this to come out, and I hope it does. I hope we get released. But we were wrong as far as the VOD. We thought we might get a video on demand on it or an SVOD. Possibly that's still in the works on there. Some people were saying they were seeing a video that in Australia that it's going to Disney Plus. It could be. But Josh Boone did not mention that on the panel, so we don't know. Even though it was pre-taped and stuff like that, and the quality wasn't great on certain things, and the audio, but still, they were able to convey their message without anything political, without anything. Just, hey, we're pushing that movie out. It's late, but we're getting it. You're going to get to see this movie, and that was a good push. The animated series panels were, they were pretty good. The Archer, American's Dad, Bob's Burgers. I think those were some of the best panels up on there. Some of them showed new parts. I mean, we're getting an Archer in September, new Archer series, and we're going back to Archer. If you didn't catch it, Archer came out of a coma. The last couple of seasons, Archer was in a total coma, so nothing was really real as far as Danger Island and in space and stuff like that. Those were not basically it was all in his mind, and now he's back. Looks like the organization is back. I don't know if they're going to call it that name, which I cannot say because I'll probably get flagged for it, but you know what I'm talking about. American Dad had some great clips. I mean, they taught you how to draw Roger, which that was pretty cool. I mean, some other panels showed you how to draw, stuff like that, but I think they had a little bit made it more fun on the American Dad side on that. Bob's Burgers, we saw some new stuff as well, so we had some fun with that. Also, like I said, we had Rick and Morty, which there was done a small. It was not animated. It was sort of a storyboard animation of a scene. It looked like something from a pre-opening scene on there, and it was really, really funny on that. Also, Solar Opposites got a new season of that coming on. That was pretty good. Now, getting back to the comic book section on there, we also had like every year, we have the Eisner Awards also. And I'll tell you, I was very disappointed with it. I'm not going to go detail into it. Go online, take a look at all the names on there. Most of the stuff on there, with exception of like maybe a Daredevil issue, I think Captain Marvel was in there somewhere. Most of the other series were not recognized. I didn't see anything from Alterna, from Ethan Van Sciver. I mean, there's some good comics out there. And no, I'm not part of Comicsgate before you jump anything. Already I have a story coming out about someone who's an artist in there, and they jumped on him saying that he was in Comicsgate and he had nothing to do with Comicsgate. He knew nothing of it, and they just literally burnt him. So listen, I'm not part of that whole political thing, but I do believe in good comics. And there are some good comics out there that's being done, and they're being politically harassed, being called this, that, and the other thing. When you look at the Eisner Awards, at what came out, it's a shame. It's a real dirt shame that you had situations like that, and it's happening. And like I said, this is why one of my favorite comic book stores is out of business. Comic Book Jones. I loved Comic Book Jones. They were fantastic. I used to get these Comic Book Jones bucks and everything like that. I used to get all my comics from them. They had shows there, musical, tailgating. They did a tailgate because there was a movie theater up the block, so you were able to go in and basically, as long as you had your ticket, you go with them. You all share the movie experience together. Got coffee there too. They served coffee, which was great. They made a great cup of coffee. Games being played on there, Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. Now it's gone. It's out of business. After they've done a whole increase in size, they moved over a couple of doors over, rented a bigger space. Now they had to give it up, and it's a shame. The fun I used to have going to the comic book store used to be great. Now it's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing. But moving on a bit, one thing that's in there, Farscape was thrown in there, and some of the cast, Gigi Easley, Edgley, a couple other cast members, writers on there. Unfortunately, the main cast wasn't there, which I would have loved to see. But a lot of the thing is that they kept emphasizing the rumors that the son of Jim Henson is, and we heard this last year, that there's a possibility Farscape might return in a new series, some sort, that they're looking into it. I mean, I'm kind of curious, why would they emphasize that? It's a year later. I mean, could this be coming? And a lot of times when you hear the rumors again, it's going to happen. So there's a good possibility we may get another Farscape out of this, as far as, what's coming out, how's it going to be. And they were saying that they want to do it with the original cast. I mean, the cast is a little bit older these days, but hey, it'll be nice to see a new Farscape series. Hopefully it's not politically driven. Now, Crunchyroll had a little bit on there. They had one little video, it was short and stuff like that. But here's the big thing, and I said this before. Where's High Guardian Spice? This whole new woke type cartoon that they created. They supposedly, it was very diversified and all of that. They did all this and it's been done. On Twitter they said, yeah, it's done, we're finished, it's in the can, stuff like that. Where is it? Crunchyroll has not, there's been no sign of it since, I think, February was the last time anything was done, and that was the main trailer for it. I mean, Crunchyroll Originals, you're seeing a lot of other stuff that's been put out, and it continues. They have more videos. They're doing a Crunchyroll Con very soon. Maybe they'll show it there, possibly. I mean, technically, it's this AT&T Warner owns this. Crunchyroll is on HBO Max. I mean, are they going to dump it on HBO Max? I mean, so far we've seen DC Universe. A lot of their properties are being moved over to HBO Max, which we'll discuss in another video, because I think the end of DC Universe is close. If by the time this video airs, maybe it'll be different. But like I said, they're having their own con. DC and Marvel having their own con. One other good thing is that we got to see The Walking Dead. They had 3 back-to-back, which was good. It was back-to-back-to-back. And, if this happened in the hall, it would be in Hall H, and it would have been 1, 2, 3, all together there. Of course, Chris Hardwick, he had to host all of them, and it was great to see a lot of the cast back again. Now, we know from them, Walking Dead is returning October 4th with the new series that they came out, which will be airing right after it. And the Fear the Walking Dead will be returning somewhere about middle of October as well. So basically, we're going to have like 3 Walking Dead series come in the October period. But also, when Walking Dead returns, it's supposed to be the season finale. But they did announce they have 6 more episodes in the can. Those will not be season 11. Supposedly they're adding them on as season 10. We will get those early next year. They're saving it for next year because it's going to be a while before they'll be able to. According to them, there is a script. Scripts are just about finished on there, I guess, or are finished. Basically, they just have to shoot the footage, and they're just waiting for okays to get that done. So basically, we're looking maybe 2022 if we're lucky. I mean, hopefully it'd be 2021, but depending on, when a lot. I mean, we've gotten the green light here in New York for some productions. A lot of the animation work can be done from home, voice acting and stuff. And we heard that in some of the cons on, like American Dad, Family Guy. They talked about being home and recording from home and sending that in. It is possible to do that. And of course, animation, same thing. All you do is sending things across. I mean, these days, like I've sent stuff to clients via email or via direct through Adobe and stuff like that. Walking Dead, something like a live action like this, it's going to be a lot longer. And the same thing with other shows like The Boys and stuff like that, which The Boys have been green-lighted for another, I think 2 seasons, more on that. And moving into that, Amazon had a lot to also, besides The Boys, which looks really funny for this season. And that scene is really, really bloody with the whale and stuff like that. I expect a call from PETA on that one, but of course, it's not real. They also had 2 new shows, Utopia and Truth Seekers. Truth Seekers is Simon Pegg and everyone else on that. Utopia, based on the British series, which I believe it was a comic as well. Those looked okay. Just take more time to see what those are. Truth Seekers is a comedy horror. Utopia is a science fiction, sort of a conspiracy series about a comic book that's showing things that are actually going on in secret, and some of these comic book geeks have found out about this and they're trying to bring it into the forefront. So Amazon had some things to show on there. Winding everything down on here, HBO Max had a couple of panels on there. There was one panel with animators and stuff like that. They had Close Enough, Distant. They talked about their Adventure Time, Distant Lands, Close Enough, which is I'm still trying to edge through the first episode, and I did like the previous series that they had for me. It was a little funny on there, but this is it's a little different, and it tries to be sort of similar to that other series that's on Cartoon Network, but nothing on the Boondocks. They had one of the people that worked on it. Nothing talked about it. Basically, I was expecting more from Dynamite as well, but unfortunately, with all the issues that Dynamite just went through, they canceled their panels. So basically, we've gone through a Comic-Con that just had no shine, lack, or luster to it. I'll tell you this: I've seen better stuff from YouTubers. I mean, Clownfish TV, like they said, they did this years ago, and they were laughed at to do a con at home, but yet now these guys are all doing cons from home now because of the whole COVID situation. If we're going to be like this for a bit, you're going to have to make some improvements. So comment below, tell me, how do you feel about this? How did you watch the San Diego Comic-Con where you felt okay with it? Did you find it too political? Did you find it unsatisfying? I mean, not even the big movies, Tenet and all that, all that's been pushed. And the rest of the announcements are not even going to come forward until like Marvel will have their con, DC will have theirs. So, once again, comment. Thank you for tuning in on there. Be sure to stay for the little bit on the end. And thank you to those who have subscribed. Like, support, share. We'll catch you on the next video. Thanks again.
Gravity, you utter bitch.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and please share this video. We are on multiple social media sites listed below, and don't forget, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes premiere here on Cuticast TV.